Here's a disturbing fact that will shock you. 95% of people who lose weight gain it all back within 5 years, and many end up heavier than when they started. Even more alarming, most people are unknowingly sabotaging their weight loss efforts with methods that actually slow their metabolism, increase cravings, and make long-term success nearly impossible. Are you making the same critical mistakes that keep millions of people trapped in an endless cycle of losing and regaining the same 20 pounds? Today, I'm exposing the most dangerous weight loss pitfalls that are destroying your metabolism and keeping you from achieving lasting results. What's up, guys? Weight loss should be straightforward. Create a calorie deficit and the pounds come off, right? Wrong. If it were that simple, we wouldn't have a multi-billion-dollar diet industry built on people's repeated failures. The truth is, most popular weight loss methods work against your body's natural systems instead of with them, creating metabolic damage that makes each subsequent attempt harder than the last. Understanding these pitfalls isn't just about losing weight faster, it's about losing weight in a way that actually sticks. The weight loss industry profits from your failure. Think about it. If their methods actually worked long-term, they'd lose customers. Instead, they've created a system where temporary results keep you coming back for the next diet, the next supplement, the next breakthrough method. Meanwhile, your metabolism gets more damage with each failed attempt, making permanent weight loss seem impossible. Here's what makes this situation so tragic. Your body actually wants to be at a healthy weight. When you work with your natural systems instead of against them, weight loss becomes sustainable and maintainable. But most people are unknowingly fighting a war against their own physiology, using methods that trigger powerful survival mechanisms designed to prevent starvation. No wonder willpower alone isn't enough to overcome millions of years of evolutionary programming. The problem with conventional weight loss advice is that it ignores the complex hormonal and metabolic systems that actually control your body weight. It reduces everything to calories in, calories out, while completely disregarding how different types of calories affect your hormones, how severe calorie restriction damages your metabolism, and how certain approaches trigger psychological responses that lead to binge eating and weight regain. Today, I'm revealing the 7 most dangerous weight loss pitfalls that are sabotaging your efforts, the devastating long-term consequences of these approaches, the science behind why they fail so consistently, and the shocking story of how Sarah, a 38-year-old teacher, broke free from 15 years of yo-yo dieting by avoiding these exact mistakes and lost 45 pounds permanently using a completely different approach. The first and most dangerous pitfall is extreme calorie restriction, and this might be the biggest metabolism killer in the diet world. When you slash your calories too dramatically, anything below your basal metabolic rate, your body interprets this as starvation and activates powerful survival mechanisms that make weight loss increasingly difficult and weight regain almost inevitable. Research published in the journal Obesity followed participants from The Biggest Loser for 6 years after the show and found that their metabolic rates had slowed by an average of 700 calories per day compared to people of similar size who had never dieted. This metabolic damage persisted years after the extreme diet ended, making it nearly impossible for them to maintain their weight loss without constant restriction. Your body responds to severe calorie restriction by reducing thyroid function, increasing cortisol production, elevating hunger hormones like ghrelin, and decreasing satiety hormones like leptin. It also reduces non-exercise activity thermogenesis, the calories you burn through fidgeting, maintaining posture, and other unconscious movements, by up to 30%. The psychological effects are equally destructive. Extreme restriction leads to obsessive thoughts about food, increased cravings, and eventual binge episodes that can undo weeks of progress in a single day. This creates a shame cycle that makes people believe they lack willpower, when in reality, they're fighting against powerful biological drives. The second pitfall is eliminating entire food groups without medical necessity, particularly carbohydrates or fats. While these approaches can produce rapid initial weight loss, they're unsustainable and often lead to nutrient deficiencies, metabolic dysfunction, and psychological stress around food that makes long-term success unlikely. Carbohydrates are your body's preferred fuel source, especially for brain function and high-intensity exercise. When you eliminate carbs completely, your body initially sheds water weight rapidly, which feels encouraging but isn't actual fat loss. More importantly, severe carb restriction can impair thyroid function, reduce exercise performance, and increase cortisol levels that promote fat storage. Fat elimination is equally problematic because dietary fats are essential for hormone production, including testosterone and other hormones that support healthy metabolism. Very low-fat diets often lead to decreased satiety, increased cravings, and hormonal imbalances that make weight maintenance difficult. The third pitfall is relying on cardio as your primary weight loss tool, especially long-duration, steady-state cardio. While cardio burns calories during the exercise session, it doesn't address the underlying factors that control your body weight, and excessive cardio can actually work against your weight loss goals. Chronic cardio elevates cortisol levels, which promotes abdominal fat storage and muscle breakdown. It also increases appetite through mechanisms designed to replace the energy you've burned, often leading to overcompensation where you eat more calories than you burn during exercise. Furthermore, your body adapts quickly to cardio by becoming more efficient, meaning you burn fewer calories doing the same exercise over time. This is why people often hit plateaus after initial cardio-induced weight loss and find themselves doing more and more exercise for diminishing returns. The fourth pitfall is ignoring the crucial role of sleep in weight management. Poor sleep quality or insufficient sleep duration disrupts the hormones that control hunger and satiety, making weight loss significantly more difficult regardless of your diet and exercise efforts. Studies show that people who sleep less than 6 hours per night have significantly higher levels of ghrelin, hunger hormone, and lower levels of leptin, satiety hormone. This hormonal disruption can increase appetite by up to 25% and specifically increases cravings for high-calorie, high-carbohydrate foods. Sleep deprivation also impairs glucose metabolism and insulin sensitivity, making your body more likely to store carbohydrates as fat rather than use them for energy. Research demonstrates that people following identical diets lose 55% less fat when they're sleep deprived compared to when they're well rested. The fifth pitfall is focusing solely on the scale weight rather than body composition, which leads to counterproductive strategies that sacrifice muscle mass in pursuit of a lower number. Muscle tissue is metabolically active, burning 30 to 50 calories per pound per day just to maintain itself, so losing muscle during weight loss severely damages your metabolism. Many popular weight loss methods, particularly crash diets and excessive cardio, cause significant muscle loss along with fat loss. While the scale might show progress, you're actually making long-term weight maintenance more difficult by reducing your metabolic rate. The sixth pitfall is chronic stress and elevated cortisol levels, which many people overlook as a weight loss factor. Chronic stress promotes fat storage, particularly in the abdominal area, and makes it extremely difficult to lose weight even with perfect diet and exercise adherence. Cortisol increases appetite, promotes cravings for high-calorie comfort foods, and directly signals your body to store fat as preparation for perceived threats. Many people are unknowingly sabotaging their weight loss by adding the stress of restrictive dieting to already high stress levels from work, relationships, and lifestyle factors. The seventh pitfall is having unrealistic expectations and timelines that lead to abandoning effective approaches too early. Sustainable weight loss occurs at a rate of 1 to 2 pounds per week for most people, but diet industry marketing has convinced people that anything slower than dramatic weekly drops means their method isn't working. This impatience leads to constantly switching methods, never giving any single approach enough time to work, and often choosing more extreme methods that promise faster results but ultimately cause more harm than good. Let me tell you about Sarah, a 38-year-old elementary school teacher who had been trapped in yo-yo dieting for 15 years. She had tried every popular diet: keto, paleo, Weight Watchers, juice cleanses, extreme calorie restriction. And while she could lose 20 to 30 pounds initially, she always gained it back plus extra weight within a year. When Sarah came to me, she was at her heaviest weight despite having succeeded at multiple diets. Her metabolism was severely damaged from years of extreme restriction. Her relationship with food was completely dysfunctional, and she believed she was just weak-willed and destined to be overweight. We started by addressing the damage from her previous diet attempts. Instead of cutting calories dramatically, we focused on eating enough food to support her metabolism while choosing nutrient-dense options that would naturally regulate her hunger and satiety hormones. Sarah's first breakthrough came when we added strength training to build metabolically active muscle tissue while reducing the excessive cardio that was elevating her cortisol levels. Within 4 weeks, she noticed improved energy and sleep quality, even though the scale initially stayed the same. The real transformation began when we addressed her sleep and stress management. Sarah was getting only 5 to 6 hours of sleep nightly, and her stress levels were chronically elevated from work and constantly worrying about food and weight. We implemented a sleep optimization protocol and stress management techniques that had immediate effects on her hunger and cravings. Rather than eliminating food groups, we focused on meal timing and composition that supported stable blood sugar and hormone balance. Sarah learned to eat in a way that naturally controlled her appetite without requiring constant willpower and restriction. The psychological component was crucial. We shifted Sarah's focus from scale weight to performance metrics, energy levels, sleep quality, and how her clothes fit. This removed the daily anxiety around weigh-ins and allowed her to appreciate the non-scale victories that indicated real progress. After 6 months, Sarah had lost 45 pounds, but more importantly, she had gained muscle mass, improved her metabolic rate, and developed a sustainable relationship with food that didn't require constant restriction or willpower. 2 years later, she has maintained her weight loss while enjoying food and living a normal life. Sarah's success came from avoiding the exact pitfalls that had sabotaged her previous attempts. Instead of extreme restriction, she ate adequate calories to support her metabolism. Instead of eliminating food groups, she learned to create balanced meals that naturally regulated her appetite. Instead of excessive cardio, she focused on strength training that built metabolically active muscle. The key insight from Sarah's transformation is that sustainable weight loss requires working with your body's natural systems rather than against them. When you support healthy hormone function, maintain muscle mass, manage stress effectively, and create moderate calorie deficits through smart food choices rather than restriction, weight loss becomes much more sustainable. Here's the framework that helps Sarah avoid the common pitfalls. Create moderate calorie deficits of 300 to 500 calories through food choice optimization rather than restriction. prioritize protein intake to preserve muscle mass during weight loss. Include all macronutrients in appropriate ratios rather than eliminating food groups. Focus on strength training to build metabolically active muscle tissue. Optimize sleep quality and duration to support healthy hormone function. Manage stress through proven techniques rather than adding diet stress to life stress. And set realistic expectations and timelines that allow for sustainable progress. The supplement industry wants you to believe that weight loss requires special pills, powders, and potions, but Sarah's transformation proves that addressing fundamental lifestyle factors is far more effective than any supplement stack. When your hormones are balanced, your metabolism is healthy, and your relationship with food is normalized, weight loss becomes a natural byproduct rather than a constant struggle. The financial comparison is equally compelling. Sarah had spent thousands of dollars on diet programs, supplements, and quick fixes over 15 years with no lasting results. Her sustainable approach cost nothing beyond investing in quality food and basic gym access, yet delivered permanent results that no expensive program had achieved. The health implications extend far beyond weight loss. By avoiding the common pitfalls, Sarah improved her energy levels, sleep quality, mood stability, and overall health markers. Her approach supported long-term health rather than trading short-term weight loss for metabolic damage. This doesn't mean that everyone should follow Sarah's exact protocol, but rather that the principles of sustainable weight loss are universal. Work with your body's natural systems. Avoid extreme approaches that damage your metabolism. Address the fundamental factors that control body weight, and focus on building healthy habits rather than relying on willpower and restriction. The quality of your weight loss approach matters more than the speed of results. Rapid weight loss often comes at the cost of muscle mass, metabolic health, and psychological well-being, making long-term success unlikely. Slower, sustainable approaches that preserve muscle and metabolic function lead to lasting results. Individual approaches may vary based on starting point, health status, and lifestyle factors, but the fundamental principles remain consistent. The key is identifying which pitfalls you're currently falling into and systematically addressing them rather than looking for the next quick fix. The mindset shift from dieting to lifestyle optimization is crucial for long-term success. Diets are temporary interventions that you eventually stop, while lifestyle changes become permanent parts of your routine that support healthy weight maintenance without constant effort. Prevention of weight regain is built into sustainable approaches from the beginning. When you lose weight by supporting your natural systems rather than fighting against them, maintaining that weight loss becomes much easier because you haven't damaged your metabolism or created dysfunctional relationships with food. The verdict is clear. Conventional weight loss approaches that rely on extreme restriction, elimination of food groups, excessive cardio, and willpower-based strategies fail because they work against your body's natural weight regulation systems. Sustainable weight loss requires a completely different approach that supports healthy hormone function, preserves muscle mass, and creates sustainable lifestyle changes. If you're tired of falling into the same weight loss pitfalls and want to learn the sustainable approach that helps Sarah lose 45 pounds permanently, I've created a comprehensive metabolic reset program that addresses each of these pitfalls systematically. It includes detailed protocols for optimizing your metabolism, balanced meal planning guides, and strategies for building sustainable habits that support long-term weight management. You can find the link in the description below. What weight loss pitfalls have you fallen into in the past? Are you currently making any of these mistakes that could be sabotaging your efforts? Which of these pitfalls surprised you the most, and what changes are you ready to make? Drop a comment and let me know your biggest weight loss challenge or your experience with different approaches. And if this video helped you identify mistakes you've been making, Make sure to check out my video on The Complete Guide to Metabolic Health, where I break down the science behind sustainable weight management and optimal metabolism. Thanks for watching, and here's to shedding pounds the right way for lasting results.